Hello and welcome everyone back to the Calvin Crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well today. We're back with another banger PulseChain video giving you guys the latest and greatest of crypto news. And as you guys can see, the intro music is back, so fear not. Okay, even though it is past midnight, I'm going to be taking my time going through the bullish news that we have here in PulseChain. The short term is looking even more exciting. We have another new tweet from Richard Hart, and this time he is not playing around. And we have even more hints from Liberty Swap giving us a countdown, hinting at a possible Binance listing. So watch the whole video through. We're going to cover that in a second, but before we do so, I just wanted to give a shout out to you guys. Thank you very much for watching, and of course to the YouTube members who are choosing to support my small channel. They have access to my members exclusive videos, which one of them is a 5-part video series where I talk about the advanced market psychology. You can check that out if you become a YouTube member. So yeah, thank you very much. And here's to the highlighted comments that I wanted to address. Okay, so a lovely gentleman here says, love your show, man, share as much as possible to all my peeps in Pulse. So thank you very much, it means a lot. And here, I appreciate the video, man, but things have been bad. Okay, so to this person, Daniel, I understand that there's obviously, we all have moments of self-doubt, especially if you're spending that time alone, if you're not putting yourself in a community. That's why I tell people, join the Telegram, link in the description. And guys, I'm actually not kidding this time, I will make it private. Okay, I've been seeing some people join it and not understand this is a group chat. Okay, we're filled with real people that have conversations. Okay, everyone's a value add to the conversation. I don't want people to be scrolling and going past forwarded messages, shield message of tokens that just launched with like 2K of liquidity. Okay, so I'm not going to be lenient, and the ultimate solution will be to make the group private. So join whilst it's still public. But to answer Daniel's question, I want to take you here to Crypto Bubbles, and where you can see the core ecosystem, including EHEX. I do add that in the core ecosystem along with PDAI and PWBC, but it's not on Crypto Bubbles for now. Against Ethereum, against Bitcoin. Okay, so you can see the past month performance. Bitcoin has gone up 10%. Hex has gone up 106%. But yeah, looking at the price of PHEX, it just surpassed the 1 cent, which is really great. It's kind of like psychological level, because usually at those levels it can act as a resistance. So I'm looking forward to see the price action in the short term for sure. But as I was going to say, you can see all the other ecosystems have been outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum in terms of rate of growth. This is really good because we've been commenting in the previous video, and just keep watching my videos, how we're slowly starting to enter and rally up in terms of altcoins versus, you know, the non-altcoins, which is Bitcoin, the digital gold, Ethereum with the digital oil, right? We look at things like the ETH/BTC ratio right now is at 0.032, which is again really good. The influx of money is now starting to move more towards Ethereum, and of course that third step of the flow chart is altcoins. So it is going to be exciting. It's inevitable. We've seen too many altcoin seasons in 2024, and that was when we weren't even in official altcoin season mode, because the Bitcoin dominance was still above 55%, and majority of that time was at 60%. So what's going to happen now when Bitcoin dominance is starting to fall, which it has been? What's starting to happen now when Ethereum price is starting to go up, because people are realizing that we are in a stable coin bull run, which by the way PDAI positions itself perfectly in this. We're going to talk more about this in a second. So all I'm trying to say, if you are holding any of these 7 tokens, right, that you see in front of you, the core 7 ecosystem, I believe you're going to win. Now this is of course no financial advice. Okay, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't give you any guarantees. In PulseChain, it is a high risk chain. Okay, and of course being in PDAI, that's a cult within a cult. But, and as I mentioned in the previous video, majority of people are always wrong. Minority of people are rarely right. So the lesson here is to be in a contrarian play. Be somewhere where majority of people are not there yet. And how to get there is not luck. Okay, we're not trying to bet and gamble here. The next best thing to having a crystal ball is to gain information. What do you know that the other 99% of crypto investors and traders do not know? Where are you where the others are not there yet? That's called information asymmetry, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you're subscribed here for at the end of the day. So moving on to the next comment from Ed, says, my best friend of 25 years 5 PWBTC. He wants to start taking profits at 5k. I've explained it's going to 50k plus per coin, but he has doubts. I'ma avoid selling too soon. Now, okay, I'm just going to say this kind of depends on your risk tolerance. Taking profits along the way up is absolutely healthy. This is why DCAing in, DCAing out is possibly the best strategy. Okay, because I talk a lot about this in the group chat and in my videos. You probably have caught me saying to not fixate a certain amount of X's, to not fixate a certain amount of, number. I'm only going to sell if I see $1 million in my portfolio. No, you have to base that on the macroeconomics. Are we in a euphoric zone? Okay, and again, to make your own system, you have to come up with your own top signals and metrics that you're keeping track of. You put them into ranges, etc. That's for a whole nother video. But all I'm trying to say is that taking profits on the way to the top, which by the way we actually don't know when the top is actually a very safe strategy. I already know some whales that have started taking profits in Bitcoin, even though it's at 120,000 when it could reach 200,000. So they're starting to take profits from now. But of course, you want to keep it balanced. You don't want to take too much away from your position, because by the time it reaches 200k, you don't want to have meaningless bags. But you have to understand, based on your own risk tolerance, where should you strike this balance. Here's another comment with all about everything. Says, I missed the whole bull move with Pulse, made a huge mistake. So for you, I wanted to take you to PulseChain.com, which by the way, it has received a new update. We're going to check this in a second, but quickly, I just want to scroll down. Okay. And I want to show you the core ecosystem right in front of you. Okay. Now, usually this is on like 24 hours. Toggle this on the all-time low, and this will show you exactly why you are not late, my friend. Okay, like going to prices of PDAI here, which is at half a cent when the all-time high was at 3.4 cents. So if you put this on a day candle, if we put this on logarithmic, and then we just zoom out a little bit, you can see that this is, it used to be at 3.5 cents, which is an 85% discount from all-time high. So again, you're not late in that terms. Now, in terms of PWBTC, let's quickly double check, put it on the day candle, put on logarithmic. I believe the all-time high here was 2.6k maybe. Let's double check. Yeah, 2.65. So from there to where we are, you are minus 67% discount from all-time high. So again, this is actually a really good, because usually I like to put buy zones. Anything above minus 60% is cheap. Anything under minus 80% is very, very cheap. So in terms of from here to all-time high, that's a 3x. So yeah, with PDAI here on the other hand is actually even more, 6.5x away to all-time high. Checking the same thing back in Pulsechain.com with the core tokens, you can see with Pulse, how late are you from its all-time low, the cheapest it has ever been, at 79%, not even a 1x late. With PHEX, okay, 2.5x. Imagine being late to EHEX in the previous bull run by a 2.5x when it did a 10,000x. Yeah, you're still winning big time. So same thing with INC. This is the liquid gold, as I like to call it, for a lot of reasons. I will still make a deep dive video into that. I know I've been saying that a lot. Life has been getting busy. I spent some time away this weekend. Fun fact, I was actually in Mount Snowdon. I climbed it. It was really fun. It's a great achievement as well. But we're back in crypto, taking some break from the charts, as you guys also should do, and spend time with your family, loved ones, and even spend time, of course, improving your own self in terms of knowledge, because I believe in the Wilson's law, which if you follow knowledge, money will follow suit as well. Anyways, this is INC. You're only late by a 3.7x. PulseX, this is my personal favorite leverage of Pulse. This is why I choose to double down on my PulseX instead of holding Pulse. Really, I just hold Pulse for gas fees at this point. But yeah, PulseX here late by 2.5x. So yeah, you're not late. And here's one of the latest tweets from Richard Hart. Here he says, so crypto, what are you going to do when the mass marketing starts ripping faces off? People are going to hear about PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex, and pump.tires directly before they hear about anything else. They're going to hold something in their hands that works great and is impressive. Again, he's here hinting at a cold storage that's going to be received in the mail, the electronic device. Remember, guys, watch my previous videos. I've seen people comment saying, what are we talking about with the global marketing? Just watch my videos. Okay, I'm going to try to condense them so you can watch them. So I might even divide them into multiple videos instead. But here he says something they're not going to throw away. And I have a video here that I got from Twitter. It's going to look something like this. Now imagine it has PDAI. Now I've seen some people bring up topics and discussions saying like he can't put PDAI on the wallet because it's going to implicate things. It's going to be as if he's the founder, which of course he doesn't want to be, because that's kind of the whole point of decentralized stablecoin, is that he can't claim to be the founder, which you never know. Why Richard Hart tweeted the 33 tweets saying, oh, it's a stupid PDAI, sell it now, question mark, right? Very possible. Now at the same time, he could argue that he airdropped in that electronic wallet the top 5 PRC20s, and oh, it just so happened to be in the top 5 PRC20s. It's PDAI and PWBTC and whatever, you know, others could be. For example, I don't know, Rocket ETH, could be Piave, a bunch of other things. The PRC20 is a beautiful digital gold rush. I'm gonna make a separate video on this, but I'm just saying, very likely that there could be some PDAI. Okay, so I'm very, very excited. So here he said, Hex did a 10,000x in price the first time while being murdered with decamillions in fees to Ethereum. Now Pulsechain exists, and when Pulse goes up, Hex goes up. Pulse, PulseX, Hex, pump tires, they all reinforce each other. Coin burning everywhere you look. It's amazing. Dry powder ready to explode. The weak hands shaken out violently. Amazing designs and reliability with years of track record. Oh, I love this. It's such a great point. He's so smart for launching Pulsechain in the bear market, because now we've actually, as he says, we have a track record. We have withstood the test of time to show people confidently that we are 70% quicker than Ethereum. 10-second block time speeds, way cheaper than Ethereum. We are more ready to be scalable, guys, to reach Ethereum's levels of, in terms of volume, Ethereum's level in terms of daily user count, which by the way, we are at 10,000 unique wallets in terms of activity per day versus, you know, Ethereum, which has a 500,000. And by the way, we've talked about Metcalfe's law, which by the way, Richard Hart himself talked about, saying the relationship between the value of a network to its users is exponentially proportional. It's the square of. So if you doubled the user count of a network, you can expect a quadruple in the value of that network. So if we went from 10,000 users per day in Pulsechain to 100,000, which by the way is only 20% of what Ethereum is today. We're not asking to surpass Ethereum, right? Kind of one of the laws of power is to never outshine your own master, right? But if we just went to 20% of Ethereum, which is 100,000 daily users, a 10x difference, 10 to the power of 2, we can expect the network of Pulsechain to increase by 100x. So all I'm trying to say, value is derived from the user count. So this is why I'm continuously making these videos, guys. So I'm continuously making tweets. Like, look at this. This is a tweet that I made just to kind of gather engagement. And here I said, which cult are you most bullish on Pulsechain? And I said Pulse, Hex, INC, PulseX, or PDAI, PWBTC, or PTGC ecosystem, or the Atropa ecosystem. Now, technically, some of these overlap, like the PDAI and Atropa ecosystem, but I just, you know, split them up. But, you know, and here I gave spoilers, like, whoa. I'm actually bullish on all of them. Like, I'm not here trying to divide people. Because of course it is kind of a bummer how you can't multi-select, but you know, this is good for engagement. Okay, because if I put in like other keywords like, oh, Bitcoin, are you also bullish on Bitcoin? Now people, the SEO or like kind of the algorithms behind this, it could push this tweet to people who don't know about Pulsechain but know about Bitcoin. And now all of a sudden I'm reaching new circles within the crypto world of Twitter or X. So, you know, I'm doing my part. And if you guys like this video, comment down below. It literally brings people who are new to Pulsechain, who have never seen Pulsechain before, gets my video in front of them in their timeline. And here he ends the tweet by saying this: the match is nearly struck. Be ready for greatness. And haters, you might as well get your memes ready because you're going to be very butt hurt. And I made a tweet under this and I said, purple is the new orange. Core 7 ecosystem will give you the financial freedom. The digital gold rush. Guys, shout out to Richard Hart. Shout out to the PulseChain believers. Shout out to the cult that we are in. Whatever cult you're within crypto, okay, you're winning. You have to be in a cult to really make it. That's kind of my non-financial advice here. Next up, we have a post from Decentralized Me here, quote tweeting Liberty Swap, where they said, eventually our protocol will become the central hub for arbitrage, capitalizing on the wrapped Bitcoin premium between Ethereum and PulseChain. Remember the early days of PulseChain launch? Question mark. Now, Decentralized Me says here, Liberty Swap spells out a critical function it will enable: cross-chain arbitrage between PRC20s and ERC20s. In answer to their question, yes, I do remember the early days of PulseChain. The farms are coming. Soon, users will be able to pair their ERC20s with their PRC20 copies and earn yield, increase liquidity, and driving parity. And thanks to Liberty Swap, users will be able to take advantage of their price differences, peg, farms, parity, and PDAI to $1. Very exciting stuff. Now, I wanted to add to this. Now, imagine if we take this a step further and we made a direct bridge from real Bitcoin, so, from your Bitcoin wallet, straight to PulseChain's PWBTC. Guys, just imagine the FOMO. Like, we're building a highway that goes straight from one country to another. It's kind of like, with UK and France, you got the HS1 or Eurostar, right? Imagine we do that. Huge, guys. The main objective, guys, of PulseChain.com, the PulseChain in general, is becoming a black hole of liquidity, guys. Remember this, and I've said this before. Look at this. We used to be 500 million, guys. We used to be 500 million in total liquidity, and that put us in the top 5 most liquid chains of all chains. And we're going to go back there again. Now, strategically, Richard Hart turned off the farms effectively by reducing the INC inflation rate to discourage people from providing liquidity, so that we can pump, guys, which, yes, increased volatility, yes, contributed to probably making it easier for us to reach all-time highs with Pulse and PulseX prices, and that's fine. Okay, he understood that that's kind of inevitable. We can't take that at the equation, but he knew the phase that we are in, which is to take off, guys. Okay, the rocket ship takes off from the ground. He was not rushing. He was not panicking with the sacrifice funds. Guess what? Everyone was calling him, "Oh, you're such a, you're an idiot, Richard Hart. You're stupid. Ha ha ha. You bought the top, even though you bragged so much about, calling the top of Bitcoin in the previous bull run." Guess what? Today and the past few days marks a huge moment for the PulseChain sacrifice funds. We are in the green, guys. The last time we touched green was all the way 8 months ago, December of 2024, the peak of the mini altcoin season, and we are back here again. But you know what's even crazier, by the way, is that the fear and greed index, we're at 67, almost at neutral level, when Ethereum is back at its local all-time highs, where Bitcoin is currently at its all-time highs, where S&P 500 is currently at its all-time highs. So Bitcoin and S&P 500 are in price discovery. 3 months ago, global liquidity broke all-time high. Guys, the bull run is just starting. Huh? Do you remember? When we were here in December of 2024, and people literally said, "That's it. This is Bitcoin stop," because they were seeing the correction, and people didn't understand. Hey, let me take a step back, look at macroeconomics, and understand that M2 money supply was due for a correction. And when you put on 75-day delay, you can see exactly that Bitcoin is going to follow suit. But majority of people, What do? They just go to the KOLs with the highest number of subscribers, thinking that more subscribers means they're more credible. Fortunately, that's how the way goes, you know? And of course, the KOLs, guys, they're going to say anything wild for them to get clicks. Remember, in bearish times, bearish titles get the most clicks. Okay, you become the product. The videos are for free. Guys, they want clicks to make money. I'm telling you, the more subscribers someone has, the more likely they have an ulterior motive, unfortunately. This is why I'm really happy growing very slowly. This is why I'm really happy being grateful to God, guys, for having a community like you guys. Because as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, everyone has self-doubt moments. By having a community, by making these videos, guys, it has helped me really believe and realize the potential of PulseChain, which is what? The biggest asset of PulseChain is the community. You and I, our interaction, the camaraderie, the strong, like, we're ratio-wise, we're the strongest crypto community out there ever. We survived a minus 99% with Hex, guys. That would break a community. Like, I'll take you to the next tweet here, which takes us to the point where I mentioned that Liberty Swap. This is 4 days ago, by the way. So technically, I think it's 2 days now. The countdown. In 2 days, something's going to happen. And yeah, this, you can see this shirt here. That's a Binance logo. No questions about this. Okay. And here, Decentralized Me again says, the Genius Act makes it easier for a pegged PDAI to be listed on Binance. Why? Because the act is issuer focused. PDAI has no issuer. This creates far less regularity friction for centralized exchanges to list, whilst making them more cautious to list issued stablecoins who run the risk of not being compliant. Once again, Richard Hart is the genius. PDAI to $1. And by the way, fun fact, if you guys didn't know, one of the biggest holders of PDAI is the centralized exchange wallets. One of them is Binance. I believe they have around hundreds, maybe even 300 million of PDAI. So they already technically got paid to list PDAI. They already have the tokens for the liquidity for the centralized exchange. We don't know what kind of connections, what kind of conversations have happened behind the scenes that we aren't aware of yet. And Liberty Swap, it's giving us a countdown. Okay, no, I'll be honest, we've seen so many countdowns left and right. Like, you know, I remember there was a countdown, oh, it's Binance's birthday, we're going to peg on that Monday. It's like, you know what I mean? So be careful with expectations. Don't, you know, we're not going to peg tomorrow. We're not going to peg in a few weeks or maybe even in a couple months. We're not going to peg. Okay, I like to not give myself aspirational milestones or aspirational expectations. I would rather give myself realistic expectations and be surprised for the upside rather than be surprised for the downside. Okay, so keep that in mind. Like, I am optimistic, but let's keep it realistically optimistic. I love how the PDAI chart has been organically growing, guys. We've done the 10,000x. By the way, in 2024 from 2023, the 10,000x, that was all organically done with no involvement from Richard Hart. Like, he barely tweeted about PDAI here and there. So I really do believe, just by, you know, sell pressure, just by, you know, kind of FOMO, retail FOMO, and the next DeFi season, I really think like PDAI on its own, just from people buying it and selling it, like the distribution, accumulation phase, etc., we can get it to like 50 cents. We can get it to 75 cents. You know, of course, you know, the pegging mechanism can do the rest from there. All right, with whatever puzzle piece is going to be with Liberty Swap, PRC, ERC20 farms, a new maker DAO replacement, tons of things. Now I'm going to make a separate PDAI kind of theory video, and I have a bunch of other videos that I'm going to make. So anyways, we're going to keep this video short and sweet on there. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Really big things are coming, especially the global marketing. Like, that's absolutely crazy. And I've seen a lot of big tweets coming in. You can really tell that there's more eyeballs coming to PulseChain. But what's crazy is that we are at these prices, okay, where PWBTC hit $1,000. We're at half a cent with PDAI. If you go here and we put on Sami mode, we're at half a cent with PDAI, almost $1,000. And we touched $1,000 with PWC. Hex is at 1 cent, guys. So anyways, I have another video that I'm going to make next, which answers a lot of people's misconceptions. Okay, and we're going to settle the debate. PHEX versus PDAI, once and for all. Watch the next video. Put on your notification bells. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Remember, access my courses link in the description. Use code PDAI to get this for 100% free. I don't need to make this. I don't need to make money with these courses right now. I'm not in a rush. So, you know, big shout out to everyone who's been leaving reviews, such as our my man right here, or woman. Here says, awesome, well done, and thank you. So yeah, thank you very much. You know, to get yourself up to speed with everything that you need to know in terms of security, especially if your portfolio has above $1,000. So stay safe out there. There's people who are looking out for, you know, vulnerable people who don't know much about crypto, and they're just, you know, jumping in the deep end into the world of DeFi. So it's really important to cover the importance of the attack vectors and how you can mitigate against them, and just understand the terminology and the concepts of, you know, for example, tokens, how you can give approvals and the signatures, and there's ways where you can kind of make an offline signature attack, and what is even the C, I, and A, etc. And a bunch of other things like encrypting your file, reading Solidity contracts. I cover that all in the 1.5 hour course right here. And of course, if you are new to crypto, Learn Crypto, the Ultimate Guide is a really great course. Also another 1.5 hour worth of content. Check it out, link in the description. Read it. Maybe it's a great course for you. Oh, guys, listen, I'm going to end the video there. I'm going to catch some sleep. It's 1 a.m. I'm going to try to wake up tomorrow at in 5 hours for a boxing session. How am I going to do that? I don't know. With the power of God, I shall. Anyways, we're going to end the video there. Big shout out to the man above. Trust in the process, trust in God, and I'll catch you later. Take care. Bye-bye.